Welcome back to the Wolff Den presented by Win Again Academy. Great event last night with Shea Hillebrand, and there's a live event next week in New York City. If you're available, those are great events, so check it out, winagainacademy.com. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine, and today we welcome Holly Riddel to the show. How is it going?
It's great, except for
Don't worry, let your dog do. The dogs will do what they do, and we'll go. We're just
he was totally
in their
quiet until you said something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's go."
Might have liked the music. So I met you at the Leigh Steinberg party. You guys had a booth, and you were giving away free alcoholic drinks. But for the people in the audience who don't know who you are, just give a quick intro, and then we'll get to it.
Oh wow! So where we met, we actually had it was at the Indo brand booth, and they had the cold brew coffee, and then the cocktail that I created for them. It was an espresso martini. But I call myself, I'm a creator. I've created many brands, from pet products, jewelry, fragrance. I have my own cocktail brand. So I would say I'm a creator. Although I have both sides of the brain, I do every part of it, from trademarking, concept, all of it, creating the product. Yeah.
When you say you created a cocktail, what does that mean? Because I create cocktails all the time, right? I put fruit punch and vodka, and then I throw a little bit of this in there. Maybe you think it's good, but what does that really mean? And then the other part of that is when we talk about Indo, which is backed by Snoop and also owned by who's the other?
Michael.
Guy? Yeah. So they have this cold brew. Did they come to you and say, "I want to create an alcoholic one"? Did you come to them and say, "Hey, I have something"? How did that go?
So we met through my cocktail. Michael, I have not met Snoop. Hopefully one day, but I met Michael, and he and his team had tried my cocktail, because I am looking to do something with that differently, where I'm not running it all on my own anymore, because I want to create more. So we met, and they shared with me that they want the best espresso martini out there. And I said, "Give it to me. Let me." And they had been working at getting one created. But when I say created, it's from making a drink and being able to duplicate it to where it tastes good in the can. And that's where you have to know what you're doing and how to use flavors when you need to use flavors. And I'm a real purist, so I use real ingredients as much as I can. So for my cocktail, Meet Your Destiny, I use real ginger juice and real honey and mint and bergamot, and and these types of ingredients. Mine is a craft cocktail. I created it from scratch. It's not a known cocktail. Espresso martini, some of the flavors we had to use, like vanilla, I mean, they're natural. They're still all natural flavors, but we use their amazing cold brew for the coffee. And I'll tell you, when you work with quality ingredients, you just as long as it's not only a different ball game, but but you have to be, again, choosing what to build it with. Meaning, okay, is that enough of that? Is it too much of that? I don't like a really sweet cocktail. I think one of the things is being very confident in taste. I have an eau de parfum that I created that sells all over the world, and it's beautiful. It's the nose on it. I wanted the nose on this espresso martini, and I actually grabbed one. The Indo. It's awesome packaging. They did an amazing job. I had nothing to do with the design. They had that all finished with their cold brew, but it just
it's interesting. Like when I joke about like I've created cocktails, of course I've created cocktails, and now it's like I got to adjust it to see how is it good, and that's great. I enjoyed it, right? But now I'm having a party. Can I reproduce that? Right? Not so easy. Now I have 200 people that I got to try and make this thing for. Not so easy. So it's to me, it's almost, and maybe I'll correct me if I'm wrong. It's almost like baking instead of cooking. With cooking, you could just kind of play around with it, but with baking, you have to do exact. So when you're creating a cocktail, it's got to be exact to keep it consistent.
Well,
But your
when
brand
you're talking about, 100,000 cans, that's
yeah,
why we have formulas.
yeah,
You know, when I small batch this, like from fresh ingredients for all my friends to come over before I canned it, everybody's gonna try it. Everybody got a little toasted because it's 10%. So is the espresso martini. I mean, you're gonna make something, make it, you know,
yeah. You might
a
as
real
well.
cocktail, right? Um, it was more challenging, but I'm dealing with muddling oranges, blood orange and mint, and like that is a whole different ball game. I got out my jeweler scale and I literally had my jewelry scale on the counter because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I wanted it
Right.
to be as close and this got went out and bought this big thing that I could, and but then that's tough. I mentioned Spindrift a lot. I really, I love Spindrift. I've never tried their cocktails because I'm not a fan of seltzers, but um, they use real fruit. If I
Mhm.
have any bubbles at all, and I try not to drink too much of that, but I only will buy Spindrift because I want the real deal. I want real grapefruit in my drink, or real orange, or I just bought last night pineapple. They use pineapple, and but one of the caveats is that listen, fruit changes in and out of season. We do the best that we can to preserve the flavor, to
Yeah.
lock it in, to freeze it. I mean, I love all of that. So if I have a grapefruit can one day and a couple months later it's slightly different, so what? It's still, you know,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of nature, you know.
And I think even in a drink, it's almost not the variance is not going to be so maybe noticeable.
Not how we're doing it. You
Yeah.
can't. I mean, I saw a slight variance between I'd used an organic ginger juice and a regular ginger juice. It was very slight. I doubt if anybody would ever even notice. Um, but I noticed, um, just because.
But
but it's
that's through a lot of testing,
oh,
trial and
it's
error,
through a lot
and
of tasting.
yeah.
So it's like, but I, I've got to get the drinks to be consistent. I mean, period. They
Yeah.
have to. These cocktails have to be consistent. They have to be shelf stable. Everything that goes into putting a can of, on the shelves, a canned cocktail on the shelves, not let alone TTB compliant. All of those things I handle.
Now, I mean, we have an explosion of canned cocktails,
Yeah, that was
right?
fun.
It's like crazy what's
It
going on.
it it is, and they keep on coming. That's why I keep saying it's a race. Get out there. Got to get out. They're just gonna keep on coming, and you it's there's a lot of components. I mean, for me, I can't. Sometimes I'm shocked. I'm like, I'm in all the Total Wine stores in California with my cocktail and some high end my um, uh, hotels and restaurants and things like that. But I think mine sells so well, especially when I'm doing demos. I mean, I'll go through 3 cases and no one's even allowed to, sorry, taste it.
But you know, I think with what
I
I've
was going to say, it's a story. You're telling a story of your brand. And that's a big part of it. There's always a reason why I make something.
and it
And
starts with
so,
packaging.
well, it starts with why you're making it.
No, but I
Why did
mean,
I
as I'm walking down the aisles, I'm someone who gravitates towards something that catches my eye that I might be interested in seeing more. And that we don't. Yeah, for me, a packaging is always like I drink a lot of craft beer, and I have these cans, and I think I gravitate towards something that's a cool looking can, or just says, "Hey, find out a little bit more about what this is." And I think I mentioned to you when we were at the event, like the yellow was
Yeah.
genius because everyone's just walking around with a yellow can, and
Yeah.
you're just like, "Well, what the hell is that?" If
Yeah.
that was just a regular black or whatever, I think maybe it's not as successful, at least in the moment, with people wanting to say, "Hey, where'd you get that? What is that?"
Yeah. No, it's definitely it grabs your attention. And it's funny because when I first met them, I love yellow. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I was drawn. I love yellow. One of my nicknames is Sunshine Yellow, which but it's true. But I love yellow. It's happiness. It's a
Yeah,
happiness,
it's a good
and
color.
I always want to be happy. But it is. It's great. It's great. They spot on. Spot on.
So if you have your own brand,
Mhm.
and it's here, Drink Destiny. That's the
Mm.
0.2 drink. What is that? What's the story behind it, and what kind of experience is that from a drink as I'm drinking?
So, um, so my fragrance. It started with a fragrance. It started with this is 0.2
Okay.
fragrance. 0.2 is a fifth. It takes a fifth of a second to have love at first sight. It's a fifth of a second to have, oh, that pow, whether it's with your baby, the first time you see your child, or the moon, or a piece of art, the nature all the time for me. But absolutely another human being, one fifth of a second. So that was my inspiration when I created the fragrance. I thought, man, I knew the power of the sense of smell. It's connected to the limbic system in our brains. That's memories, feelings, and emotions. So if I attach an intention to a beautiful fragrance, people are going to have they're going to have an excitement around not only having a beautiful fragrance on them, but they're going to go out into the world with the intention to connect. So I everything I create, from my jewelry brands to the cocktail, the fragrance, it's all about bringing people together, making life a little bit better, um, creating more love and kindness in the world. And that is my mission. So the fragrance is doing really well. It's grassroots growing. I'm planning to do some new things with it this year. And when I created the fragrance, I met an ambassador for Kettle One, and we totally hit it off. And one night she's like, "You should make a cocktail." I said, "I want to make a cocktail," because she talked about the notes and gin and mentioned the Nola family. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay." So she buys me this amazing book, and I learned all about making cocktails. I read the whole thing, learned what muddling was. I mean, I dive in, like, with everything I do. And so I use some of the notes, my top notes of the fragrance: mint, Italian bergamot. I use those notes in my cocktail, and I came up with something that was really delicious, and it ended up, even Kettle One liked it and used it. They did a gift box to their years ago, with just like ingredients to their celebrity um, people, and then I didn't do anything with it because I've got all these things that I make, and I thought, oh, it was I had it for so long, and I started working on it pre-COVID. But I had this big deal going with a fragrance, and then COVID happened, and I'm telling you a very long story, but it's the story of what happened. I couldn't get my bottles from France. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to say no to this deal. I'm like, I'm making the cocktail. Cans are here. I can move, so that's what I did. I created the drink, and then um, I made it something that you can share, which that's a part of the mission. So it's intentionally 2.5 cocktails in this can. It's called Meet Your Destiny because that's what
Two
we
and a
want to
half
do.
cocktails.
Yeah, there's 2.4 exactly. It's 12-ounce can, 10% alcohol. It's considered
Oh, right.
by the
Okay.
TTB standards. You
Got
know,
it.
you would be able to drink this can, and but I drink a half of I drink. I mean, I'm a lightweight now, but it's as clean and healthy as I could make a cocktail. Truly, like there's no bubbles. It's like I said, real ginger juice on the back of the can. A glance happens in zero point 0.2 seconds, and life can
Yeah.
change. Make a friend or meet the love of your life, but don't miss the moment. So that's one of my trademarks. Don't miss the moment.
Yeah.
You see somebody, come on. You can check a box.
No, I love that. I saw the
I
can, and
have so much
it's
fun
all
with
about
this.
packaging. I'm going to show
Well,
you. I
yeah,
keep talking, but I want to show you because I had this. It's interesting the way that like it's very true when I buy my craft beer is that I'm really drawn to
yeah,
to the packaging of it because sure I have what I like, but even within that, like these are like when you
yeah.
start saying I want to have an apple drink, and this is just cool because it has artwork from Caddyshack and Billy Madison.
Oh, yeah.
And, I don't know, Sour Me, Unicorn Farts. Who doesn't want to drink something called Unicorn Farts? And this was a special can at the. So I think it's a fine line between being gimmicky and
Yeah.
really telling a story and having it mean something. But at the end of the day, the drink has to perform.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I'll buy a 6-pack, but am I going to go buy another 6-pack? Because
Exactly.
you're not in existence for me to buy a 6-pack. You're in existence for me to buy a 6-pack, for me to come back and buy a 6-pack, for me to share one of my 6-pack with someone else who then wants to go buy, and then next thing you know, it's
Yep.
at parties and the hotels and all of that.
Yep. Yep. That's hopefully where I'm headed with this. And my packaging, I even the artwork. The artwork was done actually by a pair of um, it was a young couple. Well, they graduated from RISD and then went back to Japan, and we did all of this. I wanted something that was inclusive, like a circle, and also very sexy and provocative, so that you wanted to pick it up and look at it. I mean, it's beautiful artwork. It's all original, and inside of that orb are these like two kind of, I don't know, maybe they're souls, maybe they're, I don't know, they're pieces of art floating in there, and that's what it meant. It meant two people coming together, but it is all about, I mean, the fragrance bottle. If you look on the back of this, it's a back label, okay, and it's a crush, and it's all of the stuff in our heads, all of that negative self-talk, all the worry. We're walking around like, oh my God, what's next? What do I gotta do? All the BS, man. Like it's constant chatter. And then boom, zero point 0.2 moments bring you present. They make you go, whoa, hey, let's okay, I'm forget about everything else. Like this is where I'm at. And we need more, just some self-awareness, just what's going on, man. Like my joy every day, who I'm gonna talk to, who I'm gonna meet. Like meeting you and everyone else. I mean, that time in Arizona was just it's like one person after another. I got to hug and tell you a cocktail. I mean, come on.
I had
That's
such a great time that day. I didn't
yeah,
even worry about the celebrities and the athletes that were there. I wish there were more. I would have been happy to interact, but I went up and down. It took me the whole party
yeah,
just to talk to every booth that was there to give them time, and then the people I met on
yeah,
there. I thought it was a really good event. It wasn't a
yeah.
great party. It was a great
No,
event, and I'm
I
fine
mean,
with that.
yeah. I mean, I
A party's all
honestly wasn't.
subjective anyway. I mean, you're not going
Yeah,
to
it was a
compare
party
that
for
to,
me. I had a
Bronx
party.
Beach and Shack House and stuff. But
Yeah, Shack House was cuckoo.
yeah, um, let's talking about on the celebrity side. I want to talk a little bit about Snoop because there's so many like variables and positives and negatives from both sides, from his point of view on what he attaches himself to, And then also from your point of view, what you attach yourself to, because Snoop is very polarizing character. It could go, who knows? One day he could be in the news and your thing is like it's the best, and the next day, the
Yeah,
shit hit the fan.
I think with any celebrity that you partner with, and listen, I am in the midst of looking at celebrities for my brands. I've done it in the past and then I stopped. And now I'm like, okay, it's time to move on because I really want to move into like a creator position, creating for other people and companies.
Yeah.
That's where I feel at this point in my life I want to focus and where I'm happiest. And I also have a movement called LIMI, Love is My Intention, and it's about a global uh, movement of people making love their intention and shifting their whole lives. And I've been doing it for over 11 years, and it's mind blowing how it will change you. So, and it will change the world. So that's my passion. Creating is my passion. But back to celebrities, listen, you know, they're amazing, and then maybe something happens. That's the chances you take, sharing your brand. So you try to be as careful as possible when you partner. Um, I think Snoop, I don't know him, but what I do know of him, um, his wife is a badass.
Yeah.
And I love that she's all over. I mean, I really want to meet her too. I mean, but I love his family values. Um, I have zero judgment of anything that he's doing or has done.
He's in a
I
lot.
think
He's got his hand in a lot of brands, which have been
he really does. I was
successful.
so bummed. He's doing a pet line now. I'm like, dude, I wish I
Yeah.
knew. That's another. I launched my very first line was a pet product line that ended up getting into Target, and I want to do another pet line, but no, I mean he can do it. So what? Great,
I
like yeah,
I struggle a little on I'm trying to build a brand. It's Take a Time Machine that's gonna try and be a better person, make the world a better place. All the stuff
yeah,
you're talking about, and then again, we don't know Snoop or not, but the music he's involved with, some of this, the people he's involved with are sort of anti that, or not. They're not necessarily anti that, but they're not for it. Which some people will say, if you're not for it, you're against it. How do we navigate to that? Because I struggle with that myself. To be like, look, we can't be everything to everyone, and so we are always inherently a little bit hypocritical about some things that don't maybe align 100%. Because if we only looked at everything that aligned 100% with us, I think we'd have nothing.
well, I'm glad you brought that up because that is being human and why I created LIMI intention. Listen, you're gonna screw up. We're human, and but if you commit, if you can commit, and I make rings. Of course I don't have it near me. It's LIMI. We commit with these rings to a person, but what's most important is we commit to ourselves. So when you say, okay, if he's around or who somebody is around someone that is not living in alignment with that belief, listen, all you can do is pay attention to you and try your best to not judge and take that person for who they are. And you're doing your best you can. Every single thought, every single action starts with an intention. And this is why this works. If you make love your baseline, that is your foundation, it it snuffs out a lot of BS that's floating around, just like all that stuff. Who
Well, I want to
cares?
battle. I want to combat a few things you said. I don't know that everyone's doing the best that they can.
I
I'd
don't. I'm
argue.
not saying that. I'm
No, I
not
know.
saying
I know. I say that's the ideal. You would think. I would argue that the bar for being a good person is so low, but people can't be bothered to even hit that, and that's a problem. So my question to you, and I have LIMI, and I'm all for it. Is it more important to gather the people who align with you, or to try and either educate or engage with the people who think you're nonsense and don't care?
if I continued, I've been doing it just LIMI for over 11 years, and it started because I was a speaker. And I created something that for every person that came to the event, they left with a piece of LIMI. And there's people are still wearing it and living it and still in my life. I think if I only focused on the people that, were treating, others in an uncomfortable way, or being negative, I would just want to hide. Like I face them all the time, but I stand my ground in who I am, and that's what we have to do, and know that we have to, when we see these people and we have an opportunity to either stand up for somebody, speak up, protect somebody, stand up.
That's what I mean. The silence is not good.
The silence is BS, and it really upsets me. I have almost many times gotten myself hurt because I've literally jumped on people to get them off. I lose my, I don't think of myself in that moment, and even dog attack, everything that if you're a witness, you have the ability to do something that we have to do. We have to act. The complacency, it's just like, I cannot, it's hard. So what you brought up is something that keeps me going in my mission, because if I can appeal to you that it's going to make you healthier and you happier, maybe the people that are out there miserable, that are getting sick, because the difference is love makes me healthy. Like, love is, my body loves it. It's like I'm resonant. I make these cocktails, but I hardly drink anymore. Like, I sip but I'm not going out drinking 6 drinks. It's not what my body wants, right? So, but again, no judgment. People drink, it's fine, but just don't hurt anybody. But I really believe that we have to just focus on us. Like, keep paying attention to what you're doing, and then I have so many beautiful, loving people around me. Well, I go out and I'm like, and I'm meeting people. I expect to meet kind people. I expect to be, because I'm going to hug you and I'm going to like you until you maybe hurt me or something happens.
Jim Jeffries, great comedian. He had a show and he talked about the only thing that can beat hate is love. And it doesn't mean it will, but it's we should love people until it comes to the point where if it's not going to beat it, then it's going to be very obvious that they're the assholes.
It's already beaten it. It's not that it's not going to beat it.
Well,
that's the thing.
I mean,
it's just that we need more. We need more of it.
Yeah.
If you put love and hate in a room, love is always going to win.
Right, but I think if we're talking about a war, there's too much hate in the world to think that we've beaten it. That's not. And
well, that's because we're now talking numbers, and we've got segments of our population that are really it's.
And we're not all in the same room. It's
scary.
We're not all in the same room. We have
exactly
175 different worlds within one country.
Well, again, why I tell you, my mission is to change that, and I'm on board. That is my everything. I know from being when I was little, the first time I ever saw violence on television, it sickened me. I couldn't understand it, and I never let go of. And it chokes me up because I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. I mean, if I tried to really logically go, okay, people, there were kids raised, they were beaten, whatever. They chose hatred rather than healing, whatever. And then we reason it into like, okay, that's why. But then, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when you realize, okay, well, they've been abused, and it just keeps happening, and it's this cycle. Well, we got to stop the cycle somewhere. And you know what? The only way that we can do that is if people start talking up and speaking out, and like the teacher that was just beaten by that kid. pushed over and being unconscious. I mean, where?
I
Don't
didn't
tell
watch
me
that. Was
nobody
that in
heard
the
that.
class where he just got in his face?
No, it was a woman. It was a teacher's aide.
Oh.
She took away, his play state. I don't know what station or something, and she was walking, and he attacked her from behind and knocked her out cold, and then stomped on her.
And
And
people were there.
there had to be. I mean,
And
there were
someone was
classrooms.
recording this as it happens. This thing, I saw this on Twitter the other day. It blew my mind. I was so
It made
disgusted
me physically sick.
Yeah,
And I'm tired of
guy.
seeing these videos.
I saw a video of a guy, and I didn't watch it all the way through because I don't even know why that video should be allowed to be online, where someone was on a street.
Yeah.
They were cocking a gun, and they just killed someone, and someone's recording this.
Okay, yeah, see. So listen,
but why are we able to? Why are we able to show that?
Who did the video? Let's find who did the video. What the hell's what's your problem?
No, we have like
call 911.
Seinfeld is my favorite show of all time, and in the end of this series, they did a sort of a play on it, and this is a long time ago, where this fat guy was getting mugged, like someone was stealing his wallet in the street. They were in Europe or some small town, and they're all recording it and just watching it, laughing, and they ended up arresting them. Be like, in here, if you see this going on, you have to help. You can't just like watch and do. And I mean, obviously, that's never going to happen. But it's crazy to me the amount of people would rather just video it. And some things you got to be like, look, like this guy gets a gun. I'm not gonna get involved necessarily if I don't have a gun. That's understandable.
Right. Not everyone's capable of being a hero.
Yeah, some people would want to do. Who knows? This is one of my favorite movies is A Few Good Men, and this is the scene at the end that gets me every time, and it's what I truly believe. And I'm going to play it for you real quick.
I love it. Okay.
Did you hear that? He said, "We're supposed to fight for the people who couldn't fight for themselves." See, and for me, it's simple as that.
That just totally makes me emotional because I couldn't possibly witness someone getting hurt and not doing everything in my power. And I'm I'm like 5'5", and I've done stupid shit. I jumped on top of a car. This guy's trying to steal my friend's car. And then when the police finally came, they were like, "You want a job?" Like, my oh my God, my friend was crying. She's like, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, I don't think, and that's not the smartest either, but I just don't. I think we have to talk about it more. We have to somehow figure out why it's okay for these videos to be shown, and without talking to the person that actually took the video. Like, let's have some accountability. Why were you taking a video when this was happening? Did you call 911? Did you do something first? Like, we need more accountability because there's too many. Like how many videos have we seen of a teenager being brutally beaten and the crowd around them watching it? Are they like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's not like high school and there's a fight at the end and let's all crowd around and let these guys throw down at each other.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
What
the stance that I have and why I feel, and this is, look, I'm no saint. I try and be a better person. I'm a much better person now than I was then, and it becomes with getting older and getting wiser and having more experience and seeing. But and I'm nowhere near where I need to be, but I've gotten a lot of help just to get where I am, and that's people supporting me. That's people fighting for me, whatever you want to deem that fighting for. I got a call the other day was the day that people learned what school they get into. And back in the day, you and I were older. We used to get a letter in the mail and have to open it. Right now, you click on a button, it's an email, and you're like, I got a call one day from this lady, and it was my birthday actually. And she goes, "I just wanted to call you and let you know that I got your letter that you wrote, and I put an appeal in for you and got you into school, to the University of Florida, which is where my brother was already at. I have a twin brother." And I'm like, this lady doesn't know who I am, but she fought for me. And there's no, she doesn't get anything for it. She could have fought, and maybe I took the place of someone else. I don't know. It could have been there was one slot. It wasn't just if you think you should go, you're in. There's a certain amount of slots. So it's like we're all trying to we're all on the same team essentially.
And she's in that action was LAMI, by the way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what it gave her. Come on.
Oh, the feeling you get, the feeling you get.
I know it. I do.
Yeah, I did something the other day for someone who's affiliated with the Special Olympics, and man,
Wow.
it just the feeling it gives you is incredible.
Well, it's peace to a certain extent. You lay your head on the pillow at night. What'd you do? What'd you do? Like, I mean,
yeah, if you win, like you need to. It's the like looking at the Michael Jackson, "The Man in the Mirror," which was one of my favorite songs of his. Like, you look in the mirror and do you like what you see? It's not in this snapshot of time, because if you think that you've won a lot more than you lost, or you've given a lot more, I don't like the giving and take, because I'm a taker. I'll take, but I give. I don't worry about. I'm not worried about asking you, for this or that, because I know that I give a lot. So I don't know that that's how we measure it, but we just kind of look like, did you do more right than wrong? And in this day, if we talk more about the LIMI, the what is right and what is wrong, it's there's so much more of a blur and gray area, and it shouldn't be that way. That's my opinion.
Well, and there's no, taking a tally is, that doesn't work.
I'm not talking about a scorecard. I'm just talking about in general. You have a feeling that you've won more than you lost.
Yeah, I mean,
or did more good than you did bad.
There is no bad feeling when you're when you live with love is my intention. There is no bad feeling. Period. There is no loss. When you live with love as your intent, there is no loss, because you're also forgiving to yourself. Because listen, we do make mistakes. Like, I flipped somebody off yesterday in my car, but guess what? I went, oh my God, I'm sorry, God, because I was like, Holly, what are you doing? But I caught myself. But this guy almost hit me. Like, and he didn't see me flip him off. He was gone. But he literally shook me up. Like, my legs went weak. It was one of those moments.
See, I don't mess with cars. I don't know who's going to pull a gun. I don't do anything in a car anymore.
Oh, no. He didn't see me. Trust me. I would never. Oh my gosh, no. I live in Los Angeles.
You mentioned something that's interesting to me, because I'm Jewish. For me, being Jewish is more of is my race than my religion. I know some people don't understand that. We could have a whole nother conversation about it. If anyone wants to have that conversation, I'm happy to do it. But you spoke to God. Is the loving, like, some people are like, I'm going to do this because that's what God and Jesus and we're supposed to do, and I got to live my life. I think that's not always as productive. I think that's not always as productive.
Well, listen, my belief in God, I was raised Presbyterian. I'm not a religious person anymore. I mean, I grew up I had a great, I love
that is. That's how ignorant I am. I have no idea what that is.
I love church. But I loved all the people.
Yeah.
I loved youth club. I loved all the kids and the teacher. I mean, like, whatever it was, whatever they're teaching me, I got because we're loved when we're little. We are loved. And so, today when you say, okay, what is God? God, I believe, is in every human. We are all accumulated to make up what God represents. That's my belief. There is not one being that is, it's an energy. Absolutely everything here and in the universe is energetic.
There's plenty of people who hate and are bad people who do that. And so how do I take that and say,
well, they're not living in it's not, they're making it work around their weaknesses. Their hatred is their weakness.
Yeah.
And you can't, they're trying to reason it away by using God. And I don't when I say sorry, God, I'm basically saying I'm sorry, world. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
collective. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
I get it.
everybody, because
I
I
get it.
really want to be the best that I can be. And I can't believe I just flipped them. I just can't. But I also I'm not gonna judge myself. My God, if we were talking to Diane Warren is an amazing songwriter, and everybody is just flipping everybody off. It's a joke. He's like it's
Yeah.
funny. So and I thought of her in that moment. She's like she wouldn't care. She laughed. But I don't do it in a malicious way. I just personally, and this is the bottom line, we have to be accountable to ourselves. We
Yeah.
have to be who who do we want to be when we're taking our last breaths, and who do we want to be every single day? Are we going to be happy when satisfied with ourselves? And it's never too late. I don't care how old you are.
I agree
It's
with
never
that.
too late to make a shift. And I got chills all over my body because people talk about, there's more hate, more love, whatever, that there is more hatred. Well, yeah, there's a lot of hatred.
Yeah.
It was why you as warriors for love, that know the fact that love is going to win no matter what. Love will always win because hatred will kill. Hatred could. I don't want to be that, but so many people that get ill, that have illnesses in their bodies because they have been twisted over things in their lives. They've carried around such angst and stress, and we all know stress will make you sick. And so it literally is the opposite of health and unhealthy.
What
So
you're going to give me a non-answer here, and I'm going to push you a little bit.
go ahead, go bring it
Tomorrow, you can
on.
only focus on one thing. You could do a cocktail, you could do jewelry,
Oh,
you could do a
someone just
fragrance,
asked me this.
or you could do a PIMA or LIMI. What are you
Oh,
choosing?
LAMI. I gotta go with changing the world. I mean, I do my best with everything I create, but if you made me choose one thing, it's hands down. I wanna make more people happy. I wanna make
Yeah.
more people.
Who's your celebrity? Tomorrow you have a cocktail coming out, and you could choose whatever celebrity you want to align with. Who is it? Or
Oh
personality or whatever. You haven't thought about this?
God. Oh well, yeah. It's just.
Well, let's throw it out in the world.
Oh, oh gosh. I'm not a typical. I mean, I don't go for like. I love Jane Fonda.
Okay.
She's Jane Fonda is like she cares. She cares, and she'll drink a martini, whether she's drinking them on this TV show or not. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a. I don't go for like I want, but
She is
Tyler Perry. Tyler
yeah, Tyler
Perry.
Perry would be a good
I
one.
love Tyler Perry. Sorry,
Tyler
I had
Perry's
to think. My brain is, I've got so much going on, but Tyler Perry, I
yeah,
just
that
love
would be
him.
good.
I love him so
Well,
much.
you have we have your you know, the Destiny drink and
Yeah.
the Indo drink. It's vodka. What is it about vodka?
Well, it's clean. It's a neutral spirit. The way that we're doing it, I wanted as smooth as possible, and I work with a distillery that I literally will drop it on my tongue, and so will the distiller, and we go for smooth. It's clean. It's gluten free. Um, you know, uh, it just is. I wanted healthy. If I would love to do a tequila cocktail. I love tequila is a probiotic. It's a running joke, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't drink a lot of it for it to be a probiotic. But it's it can be a medicinal, putting it in tea when you're sick and just having just a certain amount. Who we're talking about, is go to sleep and you can wake up feeling a lot better. It happened to me. So and again, I love how it's made. But yeah, I use vodka. I use vodka now because it is neutral, and I like the notes in my personal cocktail. Um, if I made it for you fresh, you that was it. That'd be it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh
Well,
yeah,
next time
it's
I'm out there, wait,
yeah.
I'm a
And
I'm a
even in the
craft
can, I mean,
I'm a
it's. I need to get you some.
I'm going to Total Wine later today. Is it here
Oh,
in
are you in
Florida?
California? Are you in
No, I'm
California?
in Florida.
So yeah, Total Wine. Hey, Total Wine. well, to be honest, I'm looking for someone to take on the brand.
Yeah, it's just a
So
distributor. It's not Total Wine. It's who they order from, isn't it?
no, no, my distributor um, it doesn't do any sales for me. I've done it all.
I'm a craft beer guy, and when I go to look at
Yeah,
a brewery,
Total
I
Wine is the best for that.
the places that I go for a brewery, like if you just have an amber and an IPA and it's like straight, I don't like it. I need flavors. I want something that's different that I can't get anywhere. And I think that's the the trend in the canned cocktails. If you just do a mule, why am I going to buy your
Well,
mule in a can? I'm not. But if you have something that has a little bit extra, like you have what you're putting in yours,
yes,
that's what I'm
yes,
going to buy. Which I think and there's a
yes.
lot of them doing that. Like there's not a whole lot you can do with with an espresso martini.
Well,
But subtly, yes. But basically, if I'm looking at it, there's not a whole lot that you're going to be able to put into that you're
so
going to like in the way that you can do these other drinks that you're doing, right?
so my next cocktail, yes, I love what you just said because I love creating new. So my next cocktail, the next cocktail for Meet Your Destiny is a coffee cocktail, but it's nothing that's on the market. I
Yeah.
created it and it has a story. It's my story. It's like the ingredients. It's delicious. It's
Just make it
delicious.
more vanilla.
I'm telling you, you're
I
gonna
love vanilla.
love it. You're gonna be like, you put that in your mouth and it's a dance. You're like,
But
because it,
the point is, and you'll tell more about this is like you're putting this stuff in a can that's in Total Wine for me to buy in my house and drink in my house or bring to stuff. So it's got to be something different and possibly unique. Otherwise, I'll just buy a bottle of vodka, which isn't that expensive anyway, and make my own drink. Which
well,
by the way, I can't make as good as what's in there.
and to be honest,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
that espresso martini is you wouldn't know that if that was chilled in a martini glass served to you, you'd think you got it in a fine restaurant. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, I gave them what they want. I mean, I love I love what
that's
they've
10%
created.
too, right? Or
Yeah,
8%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But Meet Your Destiny. So it's at Low Santa Monica Beach Hotel, and it was Fairmont, and I, it's Omni in the desert. It's like so. Here's the difference. Like these cocktails that in my line will go on premise because they're different. Because the bartender isn't having to muddle and create and blah blah blah. Now it's on their menu and they get creative with it. They can actually put this in a shaker if they wanted and do spin-offs with my notes of this cocktail. I have people even mixing it with whiskey or with tequila. There's recipes on my site. It makes a great hot toddy. Um, Low Santa Monica makes a Destiny Spritz. Prosecco and my cocktail is like it's dangerous. It's just like that's just
I like
cuckoo.
that. I do drink a lot of seltzer, flavored seltzer, and
Oh well,
I do
there you
like
go.
Spindrift. You talked about that before, but truthfully, whatever's buy one get one at Publix is what I'll get. And I don't like Lacroix. For some reason
I
don't
do
like
not like
Lacroix.
it. I won't
And
drink. I won't drink any of
Pellegrino
that.
came out with a high end. I think that is no good.
I agree because it's not. It's like first of all, and we can I so flavoring. I don't have issue with natural flavors because it's all derived from real ingredients, and I had to cope with this with my fragrance because I really wanted to use pure oils, and I can't be global if I'm doing that just because of compliance. So you got to know what tastes like the real thing in a flavoring. And a lot of these big companies are just, I mean, they're throwing in these flavors and they're calling it grapefruit and it tastes horrible. It's not grapefruit. So I
Well,
think
that's an interesting point you make because there's a lot of times, and maybe it's in the craft beer world or whatever, or it's like it tastes good, but it doesn't taste like what you say it is. And if
no,
you didn't tell me that it was this, I'd never be able to tell you that was raspberry or black
yeah,
cherry. It tastes
yeah.
good, which is fine. To me, at the end of the day, I don't care what you call it. But that's to your point about trying to manufacture a flavor.
you gotta get it to where it's. I mean, and that's what I love doing. I mean that's literally.
How long does it take? How long is it that you want to go
Uh,
tomorrow to do?
I
What's the
want
process?
if I making one.
Creating a cocktail and then
Oh
from
well,
the
think
thought to
I broke a
bottling.
record for Indo. I got their cocktail in a can in 2 months.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, I met them in October, so I got 16,000 cans filled before the Super Bowl.
But
So
that was
that's like,
before you created the recipe?
no,
Right.
I
That's
did it all.
yeah.
But here's the thing, it takes more than me. I have amazing relationships. So I mean, amazing relationships, and I deal with huge companies, but they love what I stand for. I think they love what I create and they love what I stand for, and they want to do it. And so I get shuffled through, like my,
Yeah, I think
my
there's value to that. They're buying
oh,
you in
I
the same
love
way,
them.
but it's in the same way that they're buying George Clooney's liquor, but it's different because that's like what did George look, I love George Clooney, but what did George Clooney do to be himself other than be a good actor?
Right.
And right. And
Well,
so if you're buying because of who
maybe
you
George
are,
wants a
it's what you
vodka
believe
cocktail.
in. It's
Yeah.
what you believe in. A
Yeah.
lot of it.
I mean, I love I mean, maybe it's just I want to believe it's because I love these people. I do. I love them all, and I have fun. Like when we fill, I'm there. I'm there, and I'm like, it's a party. I'm
Yeah.
dancing with the people that are packing the boxes. Like, the last fill, we were playing Snoop, and we were all jamming, and I had every single one of them like dance. I mean, it's got to be fun. It's got to be fun. Like,
What's your
why are we
favorite
making it?
Snoop song?
Oh gosh, please. I
What's your
I'll
favorite?
hear,
My favorite Snoop movie is when he's on stage in the Old School movie, and Will Ferrell goes
he's
streaking.
hilarious. You know
Yeah,
who
he's
else would
good.
be? I mean, he's so funny. But who else would be fun to do? My God, would be Martha Stewart if she would take on my
Yeah.
brand, and they could just have
Well, they're
fun.
friends, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
friends.
The
So
the there was a lady doctor, a female doctor who was at the Steinberg party with the massage things that you go and you like dance on and try to stand. Did you see that? Did you get to walk over there?
I
She was
think
the
she
doctor who
tried the
was involved
cocktail.
with this, and she was up there like dancing, and it was her
Yeah,
product. It was just, it's fun when you can involve yourself and really dive into it.
I think you have to. I mean, I can't imagine not being
Well,
a
you don't.
part of.
Some
You
people like
know.
to be behind the scenes, and that's okay too. But I think
Oh well.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I still do my demos. Like, I
yeah,
can't imagine someone else telling my story or telling
yeah.
this, like of this cocktail. Like people, when I tell people I made that, they're like, "What? Like, you're
I was
kidding?" I mean, I've had women grab 4 packs the moment they don't even care. They're like, "You made this? I gotta try it." It's so. I mean, that is the beautiful side of all of it. Like when, especially when, and even dudes that don't even they're in Total Wine looking for beers and they'll buy a 4 pack from me
well, I
because
am.
I'm like,
I'm a for your if you're not like a serious whiskey gin like that's your thing, then you don't want to mix it with anything, and that's fine.
yeah,
There's but the otherwise, yeah. What do I care? There's no such thing as a girly drink anymore. Is what they used to
no,
say, right? It's not. I mean, I drink anything really if I like it.
yeah.
What
Well,
do
it's
I
not. It's
care?
definitely not a girly drink. It just happens that the artwork are colors that
No, I know,
but
but
it's
it's like
sexy.
it's 10%. You're not, you
It,
that'll hit
it's
you.
it I have guys drinking it on the golf course. They're getting, I said, just go
Yeah,
easy. It's
I
hot.
would, I would say
But
the only time you don't want to tell your story is if Morgan Freeman will do it for you, right?
oh,
If he'll tell your story, I'll let him tell my. Other than that, I'm going to tell my own. I'm going to tell my own story.
oh,
We're
and you like craft beer. Do you know I almost made a beer and I was going to call it Holly's Hops.
no, I like it.
I can't
But I'm a
stop.
sour guy. You'd have to make a sour for
Oh,
me.
yeah, no, yeah. Well, I'd
Yeah,
make one for you,
yeah.
but
Raspberry, vanilla. They put lactose in it now, which you could do without. You don't need it to get,
no.
but they're doing some crazy stuff and it's delicious. I don't
Oh,
go very
good.
often, but it's really good. We're all about the printed memory and collectibles and memories, and you talk about stories. if your house is on fire and all the family and adults and pets are out and your
Come here.
secret formula is out, what you can go back in and grab something. What are you grabbing?
My dogs are out.
Yeah, dogs are. I'm not going to have someone choose it. Yeah, like, is there something that really you look at it and the story just jumps out at you that's irreplaceable and you want to grab it?
Austin's ashes. My dog's ashes.
Oh, that you have ashes of a
I
dog.
have my dog's
Okay,
ashes,
yeah,
which is the story of I mean, I've had dogs all my life, and I didn't. Something would happen to their ashes. Because I struggle with the whole, like I got this cuckoo because he has the spirit of Austin, but I've found myself with ashes now of Austin, and I'm a bit attached, and I'm not sure how I feel about that because I know he's here,
yeah. Well,
but
it's
I would grab him.
anything that you
Uh,
could look at or talk about and it could make you smile, cry, and who knows
yeah.
what it's going to make you do that day. That's like my Jimmy V. That's something that's worth
Well,
holding on to.
what you're talking about, like I take it's mostly women through they call it the Destiny Experiment, and I have them use the fragrance in the ring on an 11-day journey. I give them an assignment each day, and it's life changing. 11 After 11 days, they're different. They're different humans, and one of the very first things they do is go through their home and they look at and touch everything. And if something does not feel good, they either have to throw it away or put it away for the 11 days.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
Because
even just in something that's in sight, you don't even realize it, but it could be like messing with your world.
and it does. It really it you don't realize it because it could be a subconscious thing. It could be something from an ex. But I mean, I've had people wearing a piece of jewelry that they had from an ex that hurt them really bad or something, and I'm like, take it off.
Yeah.
And one woman gave me the pendant. I'm still holding it for her if she ever decides that,
Yeah. If you want it back.
she's like, you gave me the ring. I want you to have this. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that's a whole nother, the experiences I had with my rings. And I mean, I put them on people while they're getting chemo. I mean, I can't even tell you. You can't put a cost or a value. I mean, it's every time I thought it was too hard to keep going, something would happen. Someone would say they were going to commit suicide and they didn't
Yeah.
because they felt like, they were loved because of the LA and my family. So, I'll keep going, and I'll never stop because I know if there's more of us, there's more of us.
I look, I have people on the show that I don't align with, and that's fine. It's good conversation too, but it's good to be around people who are good. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's not even
It
just
just feels
it's not
good.
even just good. It's just they're your type. I posted today something about like I have a really good network, but I
I
have
saw
an
that.
even better circle. And I truly believe that because my network is huge. My circle is not so big, but it's open if you're fit the requirements. And I'm probably the same way. Like I'm not for everybody, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Who
I
wants
mean,
to be for everybody? That's a burden
that's
that I
yeah.
wouldn't put on anyone to have to try and be liked by everybody. That's just wild to me.
That's healthy
Yeah,
to be the way you are,
yeah.
knowing that you're not. I mean,
And,
it doesn't work that way.
and stand for
You
what you believe in, and whether half the world hates you for it, there's a lot of people and plenty of people for what you're trying to accomplish can be done.
it's it, it's happening, and I say the same thing to the people that are around me and follow me, that I support them and living their lives in their own joy without any, there's no shame, there's no, follow your joy, follow your bliss, and um, don't let anyone bring you down. If I listened, oh my gosh, if I listen from the very beginning, all my rings have a stone inside that touch your skin. My One of my brands is called Inside Out. It started there, and it was a vision. I saw it in the dirt. I swear I was dead. This was another lifetime, and that's a whole nother story. but I grew up in diamonds and jewelry, and I knew some of the best benchmen in the country, and they thought I was crazy. They're like, "Why are you making this Riddle? Why do you want the stone in there like that?" No one would do it. I signed up for a 5-day workshop, 5 days, upstate New York, snow up to my waist. And I made the first ring on the third day. Never held a torch before in my life, and I made the first ring on the third day, if no less. But anyway, you gotta listen to your.
Well, I want to ask you. I'm going to give you another hard one, and then we'll get a lob a softball to.
Oh, I love it.
close
I
it
love the
out.
hard ones.
When we talk about the hate in the world,
Yeah.
if you can remove one aspect of it, is it I hate the people for your sexual orientation, I hate you for your color, your religion, how rich or poor you are? What do you think is, if we can eliminate just one of them, would make the biggest impact on the world?
On the world?
Not to you, for
I'll
what
tell
you
you right
believe in,
now.
maybe, or to the world.
It's easy. The hatred they have for themselves. Yeah. If we remove the hatred that each person has for themselves, what do you think makes them so unhappy?
I believe that somewhat, but I still think it's a tough question. I don't know. I think the color, black and white, religion is a tough thing. I don't care about the money so much. That's just
it is all tough. I mean, but it all stems from, some type of unrest within themselves. To hate someone for their color.
It's wild.
Like, are you
Wild.
kidding me? And people that hurt animals, I want to hurt them. I want to hurt them. That's I said it out loud, but I struggle with people that hurt animals. Like, I really struggle. Like,
but I eat meat. It's really weird. It's again, everything I do goes back to like comedy and entertainment. It's like a weird phenomenon because I eat meat, and it's like, well, these people kill them in a kind way, okay? But they kill them.
but here's the difference.
Is that important?
I'm talking about people that torture animals.
No, I know, like a dog or a cat, or or a bird, even they see in the thing.
I do have issue with slaughterhouses that, I mean, there are slaughterhouses that will do it in a more humane way. Listen, I eat meat too. I try not to eat it a lot, but I was a vegetarian for 4 years strictly because what you're talking about, I was against the killing.
Yeah.
And I got very, very sick. I thought I was dying. I don't know. I don't know what happened, if it's because of the lack of a certain type of protein. I don't know, but I really got sick and so gone. But I try not to eat much meat at all. But I do.
I won't invite you to the Red Meat Lovers Club events that we do here, which is fantastic. We raise a lot of money for charity, but
well, it's that's not going to change in this world. But
you can go and not eat a lot of meat too. Yeah.
What can change is that slaughterhouses can be more humane, and treat the animals when they are alive with a little kindness. I mean, come on, man. You don't have to.
You just start thinking about, there's so many battles to fight. Like, what's more important? And who can even say?
But we started there. We started with what's most important. You.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. Like, when we talk about hate, like, I almost understand. I don't understand it, but it makes a little bit more sense to me, the people who hate the LGBTQ, because they don't understand it, and they think, but when you start talking about, like, and I don't think it's right, I'm just saying you don't understand it. For me, I don't have to understand something to know whether it's good or bad or otherwise. But when you just look at someone because they're black or they're white, like, you don't have to understand that. That's something that's being taught to you. That's not from your experience.
Right.
And so it's either one is just as hard to do. But I think, and this is, again, no excuse for it, because none of it should matter to anyone. But the people who just can't understand, like, I don't understand this, or feel like they're going to be taken away, like somehow affecting their life.
They'll be happier when they stop trying to understand and stick to their own business.
Oh yeah.
Again, stay out of my business.
Yeah.
I don't need to know who you're sleeping with. I don't want to know. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
I tell that to my friend. It's the same with a product. Like, I don't need to know, I don't need to like what you're selling, but I just need to understand that there are people who like that and that's what they choose to do. And so it could be a good thing. Just because I don't like it, if there was only a market for everything I liked, man, there'd be a lot of stuff that are not in this world.
I just had a conversation about Red Bull yesterday, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy for your body, but
That does nothing for me either.
Billions. No, it never did anything for me, but billions of dollars.
My brother drinks too many energy drinks. He doesn't drink Red Bull. He drinks too many energy drinks.
It's just, it's so unhealthy. Like I'm on day, I think 40 some of no processed sugar, nothing, no processed food. So I'm really not.
But you're in a very small group of people who can do that. I think I can never do it. I can't sustain that lifestyle. I couldn't. But if I'm making the choice between Red Bull and I put a lot of bad food in my body, I've been lucky enough not to get hooked on like sodas and sugar. But like, do we get educated enough on what's a healthy bad thing to eat? I don't think we do.
Well, that's why I'm leading. I have a group of women in a private page that I'm helping them get off sugar and a lot of processed food. I dare anybody listening to look at the ingredient list on anything that they buy.
God,
it's hideous.
Have you ever looked at the Lunchables? I told that to my friend who bought their kid Lunchables.
Come on, man. There was a country singer. I love country music. I love country music. I love all music, but so I listen to
your favorite? I got Tortuga.
You know what? You're so funny. You always ask me these favorites, and I love so many different ones that I don't like to choose a favorite. In fact, my wife
loves Luke Combs. That's her guy.
Oh yeah.
Well, what type do you like? Like I like almost in the mix, like the Luke Bryans and the Kenny, the stuff that has a faster beat to it.
I like it. I like a lot of it. I like the old stuff.
Yeah.
I like Loretta Lynn. I like the new stuff. I really like a lot of country. I enjoy it. Because they're still telling stories in this music. But
I never liked country music until 8 years ago. Now it's my favorite.
I love it. I love it so much. I do. I love it so much. Sometimes I just have to. Well, I grew up when I used to break ponies to play polo ponies. And I'd break them. I'd get on them and they'd buck me until they can't buck me anymore and try to get me off. And I was insane about horses. And I'll never forget the very first pair of boots I got were Tony Llamas because Big Bill and Little Bill, father and son, they wore Tony Llamas, and I got exactly the pair that Little Bill had. And they brought me into their world. And my dad is a civil engineer, and it was these guys that worked for him in the plant, and that's how I started with horses. But I have hats. I go. I'm like, I love country, but I can also go to a whole nother. But I was going to tell you, I'm listening to 105.1. This artist was on there, and he was going off about loving Lucky Charms, and I'm talking to my radio. I'm like, dude, do you look at what's in the? He goes, if Lucky Charms is listening, I'll take. I don't know how many pallets. I'll do whatever you want. And I'm thinking, how do you not know how horrible it is to give your kids that much sugar? Because I'm certain that there's more sugar in it now than there was when we were kids. But it really creates a problem. And but anyway, you talk all the things in the world. It's like I had to really stop myself from thinking about too many things because I get overwhelmed, and then it really hurts my heart, and I can't have anything slowing me down. So I have to stay focused on, what's in front of me, what I can do today. And that's why I tell people, just focus on you and the people that immediately touch your life, because it spreads. It'll spread like wildfire. But if you just stay focused to how you're treating people and how you're treating yourself and being an example, that's how we're going to win. That's how love is going to grow, and we're going to make the world better.
I'm in.
Awesome. I'll make you ring.
You sold me. We're going to let you out of the Wolff Den with the same question everybody gets.
Oh.
It is I think it's an easy question, but it feels like we're 270 episodes in, and Some people said it hasn't been easy. You
Okay.
can spend a day, 24 hours with anybody in the world. They have to be alive and you can't be related to them. Who would you choose and what would you do? You might have mentioned this person already, but I don't know.
Well, gosh, do you know who popped in my head right away? I mean, of course, I love Jane and Tyler. I mean, I can't stop thinking about Jimmy Carter lately. Um, God, it's a hard question. I think I would have to go, and it's one of those things. Where I love so many. There's so many people that are doing such amazing things. I love Gloria Steinem. I have people in my life that I would feel this way about, but I get to talk to them. I'm gonna say Jane Fonda. I got it. Because
What would you do? You watch some videos. You guys make some drinks, obviously.
we talk. No, there'd be no maybe alcohol when we're partying at the end. That maybe the last, so that there's no fuzz. I wanna know things.
Yeah.
That she knows. I want to know things. I want to learn more. I do my best to learn something every day. I'm constantly learning and reading and and I wanna learn things. So I'd be talking to her. Poor thing.
That's a good choice. I think that's the first time we've had her, but that's a great choice. And we take this because I say if you get enough money and fame and notoriety and know the right people, all of this stuff can make happen. I want to make every answer for all 200. I can't say that. Someone actually said Putin, which we're never going to make happen.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Just because they'd like to see what's like going on in this guy's brain. I'm not interested in what's going on in his brain. But we'll put Jane on the list.
All right.
Really appreciate your time. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you. This was
about
awesome.
So many different things. Check out drinkdestiny.com. That actually takes you to 0.2.com, I think, right?
Drinkdestiny.com is the cocktail, 0.2.com, and it's spelled out. It's scrolling there. Is strictly the fragrance.
Okay.
Holly Riddel.com and Love Is My Intention go to all the jewelry design.
Loveismyintention.com, and then find her on Instagram, 0.2 sips, and then just her name. If you want to find out more, if you have any questions, help them get this into more stores in more states. And
or need anything developed for you.
Yeah.
Do that too.
Perfect. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to seeing what's next. And have a great day, everyone. We're off. I'm on the Beach Boys cruise Friday to Wednesday. John Stamos and Isley Brothers and Temptations and Mark McGrath. It's going to be fun. So everyone have a great weekend. Have fun. Do something good for someone, right? And we'll see you next week.